Oh, this is fun. Today we're rolling out a brand spanking new mini-series called This or That, hence the music. Every week we're going to put two personality traits under the microscope and look at the good, the bad and the ugly of some of our most common behaviours.
Well, we're kicking things off with optimism versus pessimism. Our resident psychologist Sabina hit the streets to ask people about their outlook.
Oh, I think I'm an optimist.
And how do you know that?
Because I look on the bright side of things all the time.
I just always look badly at things. I can't help it. I always think, the worst of things.
Just think positively all the time. Yeah, my husband's on an interview today and I think he's going to get it.
I don't believe in being negative.
Yeah, so whatever's going to happen, it's going to work out.
Well, yeah, it might not to start with, but eventually it will.
I'm not a pessimist, I'm critical.
When you say critical, are you critical of yourself or of others?
Critical of myself?
And me.
Oh, they've got to be married, those two, right? They were? Yeah, of course they were.
That's your average marriage.
Yeah, they look very happy though. Is the glass half full or half empty? We're joined now by psychologist Sabina, who was our interviewer in that situation. People tend to associate optimism with seeing the world through rose-coloured glasses. Is that what optimism is? What is it exactly?
Look, I think optimism is not as simple as that. Rose-coloured glasses doesn't do it justice. We know that optimism can be defined in two ways. One is just a more general, positive personality disposition that looks very hopeful at things. And the other is the way we attribute causes to the problems and challenges in our life. So, for instance, an optimist will think of problems as being short-term and not pervasive and due to causes outside ourselves.
Is it easy for us to determine ourselves whether we're an optimist or pessimist, or is it for others to kind of determine that?
Generally, more of us think that we're an optimist than we actually are. There are more pessimists in the world than optimists. And there's a reason for that, and that's because, for anthropological reasons, we're hardwired to find the bad in the world.
OK, so this is an interesting graph. If you're an optimist and a problem comes up, an optimist will think it's temporary, whereas if you're a pessimist, you'll think, oh, it's the end of the world. Optimists can see that something specific as opposed to
a more widespread problem. So I'll give an example. If you lose your job and you're a pessimist, you'll think, if you're an optimist and you lose your job, you might think this is just a temporary setback, it's only specific to the role that I'm in, and it's due to causes outside of myself. So it could be due, I might think it's due to bad luck, or because my boss didn't understand me, or because there are mass retrenchments at the organisation I work for. But I'm not personalising my role in that problem.
OK. Are pessimists, therefore, better equipped to deal with difficulties because their expectations are so low? Maybe that's a better way to roll.
Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah, because you identified yourself, Matt, as more
an optimist. Yeah.
What we know is that blind optimism, which is what we were talking about, I think, in the break, which is just when everything's fabulous.
See, I don't like that.
That's unrealistic. So I talk about more balanced or realistic optimism, because we do have to weigh up, what's happening in the problem that we're facing.
Are you born optimistic or pessimistic, or is it something that's learned?
So we know that genetics play a role, parenting plays a role, and so do past experiences. So for people who have had multiple negative experiences in their life, they are going to probably lean towards more pessimism. But the good news is that we can learn optimism, we can improve our skills, and there is a high correlation between a mother's level of optimism and a child's level of optimism.
Oh, God, as if we haven't got enough to worry about as mothers.
See, my mum's from an Italian family, and Italians always look at what could possibly go wrong in a situation.
So somehow you dodged that bullet, though,
I dodged
Matt.
it, yeah.
So do we want to be somewhere in between? Because no one likes a Debbie Downer. Because no one likes that person who's always negative. But by the same token, you don't want that person who's fakely nice all the time either, because to me that doesn't ring true.
Yeah, we want to be authentic. We want to be authentic.
Yes.
And yet we know that optimists fare better in life. They fare better in health, in education, in the workplace, in relationships. So we want to move towards a more optimistic perspective, but it needs to be authentic and realistic.
Can I ask, Sabina, there are some people, though, that do get dealt a really rough hand in life. So it's all good to be an optimist if everything's kind of going well and you've had a nice life. But some people get dealt a really tough card in life, and through no fault of their own. What do you say to them? Because I guess for them it's really hard to be optimistic about life if life hasn't treated you well through no fault of your own.
That's right. I mean, something comes to mind for me, Kylie, is Viktor Frankl, who was a famous psychiatrist who was in a concentration camp. So he was in a very challenging and difficult position, and he wrote a book, Man's Search for Meaning, which talks about how to look on, you know, what else could be working in my favour here. He's locked up facing the gas chamber, but he's thinking about the good things in his life. He's thinking about the connections he's made within the concentration camp. And to me, that is just a beautiful example of bad things happen, but between that bad event happening and our response is this space that we have to choose how we will respond.
Okay, so it's a choice, and that's what you would tell your clients when they come and see you,
Yeah.
that you do have a choice at the way you look at something.
And if we think something's genetically in our, you know, written in our stars, we give up hope. We give up making an effort because we think it's a fait accompli. But if we know that optimism is something that we can learn and something we can improve on, why not?
And it's a good thing to teach your kids too. You're absolutely right.
And it's never too early to start teaching your children to think more optimistically. So when they present you with a problem after the end of their day, it's, of course, we want to empathise and validate their experience, but we also want to ask them questions that help them to see that perhaps it wasn't always their fault. It's not permanent. Just because they had a fight with a friend today doesn't mean they're constantly going to fight with friends. Just because they did poorly on a maths test, every test's not going to be like that.
I'm going to put Sabina on to my mum, I think, and the rest of the Italian community.
Your mum's about to ring you in half an hour and kill you, so you won't have to worry
She's
about
at
that. Oh, she's recording, I'm sure.
I bet she is,
You're on
don't you
national
worry.
telly hosting a show. She's recording it.
I haven't told her, actually.
Why not?
No, I wanted it to be a surprise.
All right, but if she's at work, she can't be recording. Not that we ever... Well,
She'll look online.
She'll look... Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sabina. We got caught up in a little something there, but that's great. We're going to see more of you doing this?
Yes, you will.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I look
good.
forward to that. Thank you.